We are on page 156, calculating unit rates. A unit rate is a rate in which the second quantity is 1 unit. So the term unit is in unit rate. When the first quantity in a unit rate is an amount of money, the unit rate is sometimes called the unit price or unit cost. Let's examine example 1, question A. Gerald pays $90 for 6 yoga classes. Now this is not a unit rate because a unit rate would not be the price for 6 yoga classes. A unit rate would be the price for 1 yoga class. And then the question then says, what is the cost per class? Use the information to write a rate, $90 over 6 classes. I want you to notice something and I want you to pay attention to what I'm about to say. When we have money as one of the units, it is almost always the first term. Money would be the first term and then the other unit would be the second term. So look down below. We would set it up as $90 over 6 classes. And one thing you could remember is that this fraction bar is a division symbol. But the way that it should make a little bit of sense is if we look at the denominators here, the second term, we have 6 classes and we just said to find the unit rate we need to find 1 class. So we ask ourselves, how would we go from 6 classes to 1 class? And you would divide by 6. If you divide 6 by 6, you get 1 class. And then you remember what you do to one term in a rate, you do to the other term in a rate. So you would divide 90 by 6 and you would get 15. Let's examine the next example. B. The cost of 2 cartons of milk is $5.50. What is the unit price? And I want to point something out to you. Let's pretend that they covered this up and we didn't know how to set this up. I want to point out to you the way that some kids would set it up. Some kids would read carefully and they would see 2 cartons and they would see $5.50 and they might set it up as 2 cartons. Sorry about that. 2 cartons of milk over $5.50. And I want to point something out to you that I just tried to teach you and tried to get you to remember, and that is that when money is one of the terms, it is the first term, almost always. So we would need to invert these. It actually needs to be, as it's shown, $5.50 set up over 2 cartons, even though in the directions they gave you that information backwards. And in this case, you would divide 2 cartons by 2, and you would get 1 carton of milk, and if you divide $5.50 by 2, you would calculate that it is $2.75 per 1 carton. Let's look at example C. Example C is the first one that doesn't include money. It says a cruise ship travels 20 miles in 50 minutes. How far does the ship travel per minute? And sometimes if this wasn't set up for you, sometimes these are a little bit harder to understand how to set up. The directions though tell you in which way to set it up. Look at the directions, or look at the question. It says how far does the ship travel? So far comes first, and then it says per, and then it says minute. And so they give it to you in order where far is the distance, so that goes first. Per means divide, and minutes goes second. So the question might tell you how to set it up. So you set up your miles over your minutes, and you would divide by 50 here. If you divide 50 minutes by 50, you'd get 1 minute. And so the answer is 0.54 mile per minute. All right, let's go check out the reflect question. It reads, explain how you could use a diagram like the one shown below to find the unit rate in A, then complete the diagram to find the unit rate. I think what we'll do is complete the diagram first, and then write our answer. So look at the diagram, and you see right off the bat $90, which is the cost for the 6 yoga classes. And then you see 6 blocks, and that's something that you need to notice, is that each of these blocks right here, there are 6 of them, and they're identical. And they would represent the 6 classes. So what I hope you see here is that this problem would be $90 divided by 6 classes, or $90 as the dividend divided by 6. And you would just simply divide 90 by 6. And you could use a multiplication chart, or you could use long division. 6 goes into 9 once. 6 goes into 35 times. And then what that tells us is that each of these blocks would be worth 15. In other words, 90 divided by 6 is 15. And then you can see the diagram down below. That means that 1 yoga class is $15. So what that question is actually asking is, how could you use a diagram like that? Explain how you could use a diagram like the one shown below to find the unit rate in A, then complete the diagram to find the unit rate. What the diagram is showing you is that you need to take $90 and divide it by 6, which is equal to $15 per class.